Alright, hi guys. So we're going to be talking about our pet project, and that is Prevent, Educate, and Treat, and it deals with polio in northern Nigeria.
Okay, so first we're going to talk about the background information of polio. So polio is an infectious viral disease of the nervous system, and it's caused by a pathogen called the poliovirus. And there's 3 forms of severity of this disease. The first one is subclinical, then there's non-paralytic and paralytic polio. 95% of all cases of polio are the subclinical case. And there are mild symptoms for non-paralytic polio, and those include flu symptoms such as fever and sore throat. And then the difference between that and paralytic polio is that for paralytic polio, one can contract paralysis. And about 35 years after one has polio, they could experience post-polio syndrome, which also includes some of those previously mentioned symptoms as well as body aches. And polio is very easily spread, especially in unsanitary conditions. So currently, there are 3 countries that are still endemic to polio: Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Nigeria. And we will be focusing on the northern region of Nigeria, in specific Sokoto and Kebbi.
As Marina said, our plan is to prevent, educate, and treat, and we're going to zoom in on those 3 parts. So in prevention, we're hoping to provide 500,000 northern Nigerians with 3 doses of the IPV vaccine, not the OPV vaccine, which is what you might see in other projects. So I think that's what makes our project unique, is that we chose the IPV. The OPV is an oral form of the vaccine that holds the live form of the virus, while the IPV is a shot that holds the dead form of the virus. And in 2000, the United States stopped the use of the OPV for the same reason that we find it's not safe to use the OPV, because you could contract the disease from the OPV vaccine. And also, the reason why people would not give the IPV in the past is because they were scared of professionals, not having trained professionals to hand out these vaccines in use of like needles and stuff. That's a safety thought. So we're using medical students in their 2nd or 3rd year, because depending on the school, that's when medical students will learn how to give these vaccines, and it's fresh information in their mind, and they're more willing to come and help for this great cause.
Alright, so another step is educate, and our goal is to educate the Nigerians on the importance of vaccination, and we will be doing this before we vaccinate. And what's really cool about our project is that we're actually going to be working with translators from the community of northern Nigeria. And the people from northern Nigeria, they have religious and cultural beliefs that make them not want to vaccinate. So for example, they believe that you could contract a disease through evil spirits or a god, and that's why we're going to be working with the translators and the medical students, and we're hoping that having people from where they are will provide a sense of trust for them. And also, they're going to emphasize that you need to come back for multiple doses of the vaccine.
Alright, so lastly we have treatment. For our treatment plan, we're going to provide 100 wheelchairs and physical therapy. Since there is no known cure for polio, the physical therapy will provide just different treatments to alleviate their pain. And also the cool thing about these wheelchairs that we'll be providing, they have like wheels that can support the rocky terrain in Nigeria, so they'll be able to make their daily lives easier.
So in the breakdown of our budget, most of our money is going to go towards prevention. That's $1,500,000 to the vaccine specifically, and the other part of the money will be going towards the ice and coolers to keep the vaccines in a safer environment, along with the shipping costs.
And our education cost is going to go towards paying the translators. We're going to be paying them $200 a month, and we will have 5 translators at each medical center, and we plan to go to 13 medical centers.
Alright, and lastly treatment, which is like the remaining 14% of our budget, and that will include all of the wheelchair costs and all the shipping costs. We will not need to, for the physical therapy, we're using college medical students that have specialized and so decided to focus their training in physical therapy. So again, since it's a college-funded trip, we will not need to be paying them.
And our total is $3,309,602.56. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. We have time for questions.
Although you don't actually have to pay the students that are going over there, they have to live. And where are they going to live? Did you have that in your budget?
Well, actually, the trips are college funded, so the college is gonna deal with that.
So we're gonna handle the means of where they're staying. You might connect with like travel agencies and stuff like that to like make sure that they're accommodated for, but in college funded trips, it's gonna be like connected
Yeah.
to the medical centers and colleges.
And how will you ensure their safety? Because Nigeria is a pretty dangerous country.
So along with like where they're staying, it's gonna be connected, like all these businesses that we're working with is all connected, like government medical centers. You connect with the government, like transportation and housing centers and like the professionals that would work with that. So just with the group of professionals, we're all gonna work with like staying in maybe like a tented center that we would like create for the project.
What is the current rate of vaccination of polio in Nigeria?
Well, currently the rate, there is like no specific number really because it kind of varies depending on the location. In northern Nigeria, where we choose to focus on, it's where we see the most failure to vaccinate because, as Marina said, there are religious beliefs against vaccinations. So with hope of using our translators, we should be able to bring the vaccination number up.
And are you working with the government? Because a lot of times they'll have national vaccination campaigns where they'll go out for like a week, and the government's already doing a lot of work for this. So how are you collaborating with them?
So like we said, the medical centers we're working with the government medical centers so that we will be partnering with the government to be able to go out and for the vaccine.
Each state in Nigeria has a medical center run by the government along with like specialized centers. There's like specialized vaccination centers within each state of Nigeria. So we'll be mostly focusing on the government medical centers, but we hope to educate beyond them.
How are you going to get people to attend the education sessions?
We're gonna come to them, actually. We put it in our budget, like the caravans and the trucks that we'll be using. So it's all like accounted for that we'll be going to them because we do find that the difficulty in different projects is that people aren't willing to vaccinate. So that's why I think what's so great about like our education program is like the translators are going to be helping us to connect on a more comfortable level with whoever we're working with.
So going door to door, so to speak.
More to schools and community centers where we're going to find a bigger population of
Mhm.
people that we can address all at once about the importance, and hopefully they're going to understand, especially through the translators, how like incredibly important it is to come to us.
What's your ultimate goal here? Do you want to eradicate it in this area, or do you want to diminish it by a certain amount? Have you thought through what you want to achieve at the end?
We hope to eradicate it, honestly, because as we said, there's only 36 people, which is small, but still, like, if they have polio, they could still spread it, the 36 people that have it in Nigeria. We do think it's a very achievable goal if we were to eradicate it. Any other questions?
How many cases of polio are there in the region where you're working?
Oh, so I forgot to say that, but currently there are 36 cases in northern Nigeria, so that's where we're going to focus like our physical therapy and our treatment towards them, and then we'll also have excess wheelchairs for any new cases that come up, but hopefully we would not need to use all of them.
Do you have any risk of double vaccinating, or is that a problem if you do that?
It's not a problem at all.
So we're going to do our best to try and keep a record on the people that we are vaccinating. Once again, with our education, we need to definitely emphasize the importance that they do need to come back for 3 doses. So we were hoping that won't be a problem.
It'll definitely be a record. It'll be like completely
Yeah.
like, professionally.
What about with like another company who's gone 2 years ago, or a year ago?
So we can mention that in our education, so they can let us know if they have had any prior vaccinations.
There will be like, we won't just give the vaccines. There needs to be like prior examination of our patients before that. Sorry, like if we didn't mention that, but definitely that will need to be covered before we give out the vaccinations, or maybe even like ask for any sort of medical history they might remember.
Great, thank you guys very much for your time and your
Thank you.
presentation. We'll be getting back to you with our funding results.
Thank
Okay.
you.